will be reminding me last session, technically, but never, for Smile at Fear. I took some notes. I tried to gather some quotes from each chapter that I thought might be relevant. I will send that to you all. Um, I'm was trying to pull it up here. It was just not cooperating, so we'll see if I can get to it before uh, we get into deep discussion about it. We're going to practice again uh, then in the method. In the method. So I'm going to review the method of Chogyam's practice and see if we can remember one more time. And in the method, what Chogyam says over and over and over is all the thoughts you might have about fear will never set you free from it. So I'd say if we're going to summarize the book would that would be the summary statement. If you were hoping to think your way through, if you were hoping to have a better thought, if you were hoping that you could place attention somewhere else, if you were hoping to get out of it in any way, or if you bought into those believed thoughts, don't we all, that somehow, if the other, if someone else, if the circumstance, if only they, uh, and sometimes we or I would have done something differently. And we have infinite storylines, don't we, about that? That then we would simply be free of fear because our life circumstance would have made it perfect for us. And I know for certain, Chogyam does as well, and so do you, really, that the perfection in life is the one you're in, right? The moment you're actually residing in this very one. This is very challenging for us right away, isn't it? We don't like the idea. You have all already probably constructed the 75 reasons that that cannot and is not true for you right now. If you only knew my life, if you only knew the difficulties I bear, if you only knew the body I had, if you only knew the mind I have to deal with, if you only knew the heart that is tender or sensitive or open, you wouldn't say that to me. And the truth is, you know this already. Yes, I would. The moment you're in is already perfect. Now, that does not then mean easy. It doesn't even mean simple. I don't know if that's true. I know they say that in this Buddhist tradition. The moment is simple, you are what complicates it. And I actually know what that means, and so do you. There is a quality of mind, isn't it? A preferring, biased, it should be like this. This is really life is about me and what it gives me or what it doesn't give me or what it should do or not do for me. And we're all doing it, by the way. So there is no judgment, no criticism. We just then want to understand better what is that? That's the fearing heart mind, the one that goes, I actually don't have what it takes to do this breath, this moment, this circumstance. And so I will invest, and I mean billions, right, of time, minutes, dollars, and breaths in trying to change it. True, isn't it? It's just true. We'll invest all of our money, all of our wealth, and I mean inner and outer, in trying to change the parts of life we don't like. And in fact, says Chogyam, a ridiculous, ridiculous waste of time. That the better work would be to change yourself so that you could be receptive. And what does he use? Words like gentle, tender, open, softened, available, arriving. really, he uses words like noble in your connection to this life. And then we smile because we know that it's true, and we know how hard it is, isn't it? We know how hard it is, and we go, right, that's true, but if only could not, and you don't know my mind, and you don't know my, and I do. Yes, I do, because I know mine. And by the way, it isn't because I'm doing something different uh, in this way of thinking. I don't think we get out of this human life, by the way. I don't think we get out of this human mind. And I don't think it's necessary. I think we have to see clearly and to then open completely to the suffering that we are creating over and over again for ourselves. And then we smile, right? And we fail. We've talked about this, and we begin again, right? Just the next moment. If only this, if only that. How come not? Why not me? How come them? What's the deal? This isn't fair. How come they get the thing and I don't get the. And then we see that we're simply arranging the chairs on the Titanic because, and I have a lot of clients. I've been really working with folks a lot to go, why is my life, but everyone else's is so, no, it isn't. And actually, I get a lot of pushback. I'll tell you, a lot of, no, I see people going on vacations and having the best meals and looking like they're having the best time. And by the way, it doesn't mean it isn't true, does it? It means that's not the path. All the vacation in all the world, all the lobster tails in all the world, your favorite meal, all the, right, in all the world is not the path. It's very clear. It is not the path to joy, happiness, freedom, or one's connectedness in one's life. And then we go, oh, yeah, that's right. But you have evidence for it. See, it's not just me saying it. You actually have evidence for it. And we're going to review that today. Where was the most joyful moment for you? It wasn't because someone gave you a 5 carat diamond, it was because of the love you felt in it. Is it true? See, the diamond comes and goes. It wasn't because of the trip, it was because of the connectedness to a people or a land that you experienced, right? And so we forget, if only I could get that thing. And then we click on Amazon, right? Click, click, click. If I could get that, then I could line it up. Then it could be all right. And but we already really truly know. And so there is something we'll talk about today, and then we'll practice. And that is this idea of worldly happiness and unworldly or otherworldly or non-worldly um, happiness. And the worldly happiness is all the things, isn't it? And then I got the new bike, and then I got the new thing, and then we just sent my brother an e-bike, and oh boy, if you saw his face while he's riding on this thing, he's lovely. But it isn't the bike. We don't ever want to mistake it. It's that somebody cared, and somebody thought about him, and somebody said, I will invest something in your happiness. That's what it was. There are no two wheels that ultimately, truly make us happy. And if it is that worldly happiness, by the way, do you know about how long that lasts? The new car, the new bike, the new something, something? 3 days at most, and really starts to fade almost upon uh, accumulation. From the I've got this now, there is a reduction, and it's dramatic and exponential in how great that's going to help you feel, right? Until 3 days later, you're going, wait a minute, I'm still sitting in my life, right? This is the truth. And so that worldly happiness is unfortunately something that we, particularly in our culture, particularly in our neighborhood, uh, more than a lot of other neighborhoods, including my brother's, where they're just trying to keep their lawns mowed. Really, that's a pretty good day, isn't it? Get the lawn mowed. You're feeling pretty good about it. You smell the grass. This is pretty good. It's green over here. This is terrific. Um, this is the whole point. And then the leaves come, and you go, if I could keep the leaves out of my yard, this would be a very good day, right? So things are simpler uh, when we have less privilege for accumulation, right? It becomes navigating the day and oneself in it. And then there's the otherworldly, and Chogyam does not talk too much about it, but it is what we're going to keep remembering. It is that sense that beyond all things, beyond all circumstances, beyond all um, accumulation, and beyond all loss, there is a quality of connectedness in it. And that quality, sometimes we would maybe call it love, um, is the true uh, quality of heart mind that will abide. Not only the things, not only the losses, not only the gains, not only the praise, right? Remember those 8 worldly winds, not only the blame, not only the fame. It will abide uh, your mind. It won't fall into the swamp of your own mind that says, but it could be better, or if only I had, or why can't this go away, or whatever the circumstance. And this unworldly uh, ease, happiness, joy is wholly um, connected to that tender heart. And as we said at the very beginning, this requires something of us. It requires a much greater tenderness than we're generally willing to open into. Generally. And so we stay busy or we don't do anything, depends on the day, right? We think of all the things that will maybe stabilize us, and we don't invest in these consistent practices that we're going to do now, that every time we do them, we go, that's right, it's here. And then, as I remember thinking, I'm going to have to spend my whole life in practice because I forget the minute the bell rings. I forget the minute I'm trying to get into the car and my husband's rushing me one more time. I forget. Uh, but the good news is, and then you remember and you go, wait a minute, there's right, nothing really to say. So we're going to practice first, and then we'll talk some more, and hopefully I'll be able to secure those notes. See if we can't find them. Do you know what we? Do you know what we're talking about? You do, don't you? You've already had 25,000 thoughts today about a way to make the day better. Whether that's the tea in your hand, the shawl around your lap, this idea that we could stop the violence out there. This is one of my thoughts today when I read some more about the Minnesota attacks. I thought, we got to do something over there. We got to stop that over there. It's not true. I just have to stop this right here. There is no other violence. There's just the violence in this heart mind. And we forget, right? I already jumped over there. Well, how am I going to get to Minnesota? How am I going to? Well, I don't have to get to Minnesota. I have to guard. And that was the words we were talking about a couple Saturdays ago. I have to guard the quality of my own mind. And that spreads and spreads and spreads in a way that we frequently forget. I'm going to stop for just a second and make sure there's not any critical questions that may prevent us from being able to connect with the practice that we're going to do. Facing yourself, right? Facing ourselves. This is our whole practice. Turning towards, uh, dwelling within, abiding thus. These are the words. And it's always talking about the same thing. And I bear my own human experience. And the answer too often is no. No. But not because of the moment, says Chogyam, but because of the accessories, that thinking that you've added. That thinking typically being what? I don't want this. I don't want this. I'm going to grab my pillow, see what else you might need in order to be most comfortable. And so establishing our posture, and I've heard a lot of people say, why do you keep talking about the body? The body's just a pain. Well, because we are the architects of the way we hold the body, even when we're not in full control of what the body does. And so we're going to architect um, the body in a way that allows for some abiding, some residing, some dwelling within it. And to that extent, it would be good to be warm enough or cool enough, or have the feet, the seat, and the hands anchored in some way that might invite stability. And we know for sure that a stable body invites a stable, settled, and present mind. And so we always begin like this. And then we set the heart as well in that vast, open, sky-like quality. We allow it to be spacious, to be receptive, to be tender. We recognize that we are safe enough. And there's some of us here who are literally in war. And we work with what there is this moment because we cannot know the next. And so we invite the whole mind, body, heart being here. And then we recollect all those who have come before us. This is that resourcing ourselves, all those that have come before us, that have sat just like this. Not only for their well-being, but for our well-being, as we sit now for not only ourselves, but others. And we let the very strike of the bell lead us into that silence, into the sense of the vast open space. These are not simply qualities around us, they are the truth of our own Buddha nature. See if we can make contact. And we rest back a bit, remembering that we are a part of whatever is arising. This is establishing right view, that there is nothing occurring that is other, foreign, or disconnected from the truth of our own being, from the quality of our own heart mind. And you're breathing in or out, and you may notice that a bit. You may notice the felt sense of the body as it's weighted into the seat. And we arrive and surrender, arrive and open, arrive and be fully present. And we see if we can just fully open the five sense doors and the mind that knows them without adding the storyline. We're just resting in this being human, being a part of this world. And then there's nowhere you could place the mind that would be incorrect. Maybe the felt sense of the body sitting in space. Maybe the sensations of the breath. Maybe sounds. And as we have been directed, we bring greater attention to the out breath for now. We let this separate self, this Diana, this other, melt away into that vast, open space. We allow ourselves to be groundless. We let the body be relaxed and softened, fully available to whatever is arising and passing. And rather than reject or push away or distract from whatever is arising and passing here, we see if we can't continue to just connect, make contact, be open. And we suspend the perspective, the opinions, the liking, the not liking. It's not like it's not happening. We just let it float into the backdrop. Seeing if we can't be most awake and present to then this breath, this moment. We invite the mind to sensing, to the aliveness of the present moment. And then rather than that sense of groundlessness, you begin to realize that this is the only ground there is, this present moment, with these objects arising and passing, and the knowing. And you begin to sense that beyond opinion, beyond preference, beyond bias, beyond emotions, there is simply this vast, abiding, vast, loving, boundless open space. It is in you and all around you. And with each breath, we are then also tenderizing the heart because we are open wide, receiving whatever arises. Not only the things we like, but the things we don't like. And even in this, we remain still and abiding, making full contact, breathing it in. Nothing separate, no struggle. And we do not then fear open space. We remember it as our true home. As the truest quality of our own heart mind, now fully connected. And then we're going to open to a feeling, an experience arising internally. Maybe it's a thought, maybe it's an emotion, but something that has some mild complaint to it, a mild judgment, maybe identified as unpleasant or unwanted. We're going to see if we can't recollect that moment now. And after cultivating this as a quality of mind by placing attention on this memory, this recollection, this experience, we're going to drop then now down beneath the thoughts. and reside right here in that breath space, in that heart crucible. We're going to feel whatever arises. And sometimes it helps to create a larger container and then become more precise as the sensations arise. For me, I just go right into the heart space, though I stay very connected to what is just beneath as well. And I breathe right in, and I feel this ache of being human. And as I breathe it in, I give it a lot of space and a lot of room. I offer it a lot of warmth and kindness. I breathe it and I let it be. And I let it in. And then we stay as connected to the direct experience as we can. We guard the experience from our preferring, self cherishing, wanting, and not wanting thoughts. They're there, we're just going to let them float around in the backdrop. Breathing in, I am present to this body and to any feelings, emotions, sensations that are arising. As I breathe out, I abide, cultivating this fearlessness. A grip, an ache, a numbness, whatever is here, we invite the heart mind to hold it completely. We don't squeeze in, we don't push down, we don't reject or push away. We create space and room and this essential friendliness. Fearlessness, just this moment. And then this one. There's nothing to fix and nothing to do. We can continue to create space and room and become the very refuge for our own suffering. And as we breathe in and breathe out and feel the sensations, remember the emotions, we also then must remember I am not this. This doesn't mean we don't feel it, it doesn't mean we don't know it. It means that which knows it is greater and larger than any conditioned arising, than any tightness, any tension, that the presence, the compassion itself, is the spaciousness of who we really are. We are not the thinker, neither the breather. We are not even the feeler. This is simply a part of being human, known by us all. And whatever is arising, we then remember not only me, but others feel this too. And as we turn towards the truth of this human life, as we recognize its shared reality, we begin to breathe naturally, not only for ourselves, but for those others. And maybe it's one, maybe it's all. As I touch into the truth of this humanness, this fear, this dread, this grief, this disappointment, this angst, this anger, I can remember that this is not me, that all of us feel this too. And then we breathe in and touch the truth of distress or suffering. And as we breathe out, we send out love, compassion, care. And always begin by offering it to yourself. I am here for you. And we can take it in small bites, one breath, be watchful of the tendency to think I've got to breathe it all in right now. These are just thoughts. I can't bear it thoughts. It's too hard thoughts. The truth is, you're already always doing it. Relaxing and softening the body. Letting this body dissolve into the open space. Nothing to hold up, nothing to brace against. Letting whatever arises simply arise in the vast open space that is all around. Not yours, not mine. And then we simply rest back in our truest nature. And then the feelings come and go just like the sounds, just like the sensations, just like the thoughts. No grip, not mine. And then we simply rest and breathe with it all. Remembering the path to the end of suffering. Remember this fearless, awakened heart mind, capable of presence in it all. And then we smile. And then we remember. And then we forget. Again and again. Just inviting any movement in the body. So I'm going to begin with any observations or questions, either one, both are valuable, about the practice. We remember, right? And it's good. And so I'm going to see if I can't find this for 1 second. So take a sip of your tea. I've got mine back here. I'm going to grab it. I'm drinking this out of a measuring cup. Don't ask. You don't want to know how that happened. I can sort of support from the spot. Be fun. Yeah. Okay, I can't, I'm going to have trouble. You are going to receive this summary as well. So we're going to do just a little gentle review with our time left. I'm going to leave the conclusion chapter to you because I didn't see anything in it that felt critical. And if I go back over it this week and I think it's worthy of something else, I'll share it more. But chapter 1, I just wanted to go over a few simple quotes I thought might be helpful. The first chapter was facing yourself, requiring on this spiritual warrior path the first task of honest self-reflection. Remember that? Honest self-reflection. Trungpa names this as the first act of bravery. I loved that. And begins by looking directly at one's own mind, acknowledging both the neuroses, he calls it, and the inherent goodness. Remember, we can't take one view. Right view is to hold it in its wholeness, not only our neuroses, not only our fears, not only our addictions, not only our predilections, but our essential goodness. And we do so in it all without judgment. And here were 3 of the quotes. I'm not sure I'll have time, but I'll see what I can do. Just see the simple, straightforward truth about yourself. That's number 1. Number 2, warriorship here refers to fundamental bravery and fearlessness in turning towards yourself. We mistake bravery often as a thing we're doing out there. He says, no, it begins here in this fundamental acknowledgement of our own vulnerabilities, our own humanness. Put 100% of your heart into facing yourself, and you connect with unconditional goodness. 100% of your heart. I loved that as well. I didn't remember that till I went back and looked at it. Chapter 2, meditation, touch and go. We know this because we're doing it every time. Sitting meditation is the warrior's primary tool. Mindfulness works like touch and go. Feel every moment, every sensation, every breath fully. Then release, cultivating freshness and precision. Here's the quotes. Cultivating mindfulness lets us see ourselves and our world accurately and precisely. Touch and go means feeling yourself fully and then letting it go so we're available to the next moment without that conditioning of the one just before. and you are the breath. The breath is you. Another that I loved. The moon in your heart describes planting the full moon of awakened gentleness in the heart. This inner luminosity is always present and becomes the wellspring from which all compassion, all love, all care come. The quotes, the full moon of enlightenment planted in our heart never wanes. The moon has been transplanted into your heart, and you may not like it because it makes us tender. Look at the moon in your own heart. You feel so good. It's the first step. If we cannot acknowledge what our own vulnerability, our own tenderness, our own humanness, we cannot abide this life. Because what? Everywhere you turn, there it is, isn't it? In its, as the Christian tradition says, in its distressing disguise. Right? But what is it really? Just this essential being human. I'm going to stop right here just to check in and see if this review feels useful. Does that feel useful at all? Yeah, it felt like it may be good to go back over and to look at this, especially for those who have not been here for each of these. So remember the moon, this sort of tender, gentle. The sun in your heart was chapter 4. Complementing the moon, the sun of discriminating awareness or luminosity is installed in the brain. Natural intelligence organizes life with fearless warmth and gracious strength. Further heroism or warriorship is very much needed, was quote 1. The sun represents ongoing gentleness and graciousness, as well as fearlessness. Gentleness and graciousness is fearlessness. And remember, we were using that word warriorship. We didn't even use it at the beginning, did we? Because it just felt inconsistent with what Chogyam was trying to get us to understand. When the sun is awakened in your brain, I think he means mind, you see the need to organize your life around it. When we see the truth, right, we go, I now must incorporate this Dharma, this truth, into what? The wisdom factor. I can't just go, but I don't like that truth, so I'm going to stick it over there till it makes more sense to me. You go, no, I am on the path to some understanding. I need to stay here. That's the sun in your head, the moon in your heart, the sun in your head. Indestructible nature, we worked on that today, reveals the Vajra, or indestructible quality of our basic goodness. Let's just breathe that in. The Vajra, the indestructible nature of our basic goodness. Yes, yes, yes. And no, I don't always see it either. No, I don't know where it is. I lose it. I lose the compass. I forget about it in me. I forget about it in you. I forget about it in others. And then I have to wake up again. And if I don't practice, there's no chance for that waking up. I just fall into the hole of this appeared world that has nothing but suffering coming and going. But it is not true. In it all, there is a basic goodness. Here's the quotes for that. He says also, through steady practice, the warrior or the bodhisattva discovers dignity that cannot be harmed by outer conditions. No matter the difficulty around us, when we can stay stable, open, receptive, tender, and vulnerable, that fearlessness will keep us steady in the face of other difficulty. It is an indestructible quality. that we all possess. It is a natural process. Elegance and dignity become natural and lovely, wholesome and good. Meditate even 10 minutes. It helps you appreciate the moon, the sun, and the Vajra nature in you. If you did nothing else, I really mean this, but pictured the moon and drew it in, and then you pictured the radiant warmth of the sun and breathed it in, and then breathed it out, that would be a useful 10 minutes spent. And you didn't know what you were doing, and you didn't know why you were doing it, and it wouldn't matter at all. Right? This is where we have to be watchful about, I have to understand this. No, you don't. No, you don't. Be it. Breathe in that glow, that warmth of the moon, the radiance of the sun, and then invite it out into the whole space. 10 minutes every day. Change your life. There's no pill you can take, folks, that is going to make that better than that. The Sacred World, one of my favorite chapters, shows how gentleness and insight reveal the world as inherently sacred, even when, from our point of view, everything's going to hell. Inherently sacred, even when we don't like much of what's happening. We've already been here before, folks. This is not news. We have been here many, many, many times before, and we have still something to learn, right? There will be no force. There will be no right or wrong. There will be no me against you, you against it. We have to go through it again because we forgot. We forgot again that there will be no path as long as we are divided like this, as a country, as a people, and in and with oneself. There's no path here. Okay, thought my phone just died. Indestructible nature, sacred world. Here we go. Here's the warrior engages every moment with reverence and confidence. Reverence for the sacredness of this world. The experience of sacredness brings together the moon in your heart and the sun in your head. Sacredness comes from developing gentleness toward ourselves. Sacredness comes from developing gentleness towards ourselves. Very important line. Victory is unconditional victory based on the unconditional open heart. I want to make sure. I'm going to look at my time. Okay, we're good. That was chapter 6, Sacred World. Chapter 7, the education of the world. Oh, the education of the warrior. Uses a cradle to maturity metaphor in the chapter to map the warrior's training path. Doubtlessness, discipline, and lineage guidance nurture our innate courage until it fully blossoms. Here's the quotes. You can awaken the warrior discipline in ourselves. Awaken the warrior discipline in ourselves and see the truth of the great eastern sun in us all and also shining down on us. Doubtlessness is the style in which we feed these cocooners, us knowing that there is goodness in each other actually allows us to approach those who are currently collapsed or currently contracted or currently under the covers. I have great evidence for this in my brother. Great, terrific evidence for this, right? As I talked about, I think around that time where he was just completely shut down, completely unavailable, completely miserable, stayed that way for the week. And I said, we are just going to love him until he can finally feel safe enough to open. What I did not know was how quickly that would occur. I forgot the power of love. And now he called me yesterday. I couldn't beg this guy for a phone call. There's not a thing I could have done to get this guy to call, include give him money and Southwest airline points. There's nothing. He's not talking to me. Now he's calling me. Hey, just got on the bike, just took a ride around the block. And then, of course, everybody got on him about not wearing a helmet. And I thought, oh, this is going to go bad pretty quick. And he said, I know this is just at the end when finally the final harassment occurred. I stayed out of that fight, by the way. I thought, no, I'm not climbing in there. What he said was, I know that people are saying this just because they care about me. Just because they care about me. It doesn't mean I'm going to wear a helmet either. But then what? I don't know. I at least know that he knows the heart from which it's coming. This is good enough, right? And we'll keep gently harassing him, hoping he'll do that. And I'm not hopeful currently. It may or may not happen. The education of the warrior, 8, nonviolence. Applies ahimsa. Remember that this no harm, the concept of ahimsa, to the warrior path. Meet aggression with loving kindness. Work with the ego's own defenses and transform ignorance, which means the ignorance that he's talking about here is the ignorance that we are separate. This is the greatest ignorance, isn't it? The ignorance that we are somehow separate, that I can hurt you and somehow not hurt me. It's not possible. Even when we can make the strongest case for it, because can't we all be ignorant? And the answer is yes. And can't we all be ignorant out of exactly the same source every time? What's the source? Fear. Fear. Fear feeds our ignorance, and in our ignorance, we are not particularly helpful, useful, of benefit, or attractive. It just, right? And then we show our worst selves to ourselves and others, and then we solidify that. You're just horrible or bad. Nonviolence. Overcoming doubt explores how boredom, laziness, and avoidance masks tenderness. Boredom, laziness, and avoidance masks tenderness. Fearlessness arises by being there all along with it all, staying present through vulnerability and challenge. Overcoming doubt. We talked a lot about doubt because I had my own experience of that around that time, coming from going to really New Zealand and recollecting for whatever reason all the mistakes, all the moments of non-presence, all of the moments of greed, all the moments of self-cherishing. And I thought, wow, I'm not going to get this worked out in this lifetime. And then decided, unfortunately, that I was all bad. I had forgotten the moments of care, the moments of my commitment to love, and fell in the hole of that, and could see it, which was the beginning. That honesty was the beginning of the way out to seeing more clearly. I'm going to go over one more and then we're going to stop for today. You'll get this. The tools of bravery. The path of fearlessness begins with the discovery of one's fear and then the willingness to stay in its shaky tenderness. The path to fearlessness begins with the discovery of our own fear and the willingness to stay with that shaky tenderness. That was our practice today. The sun will shine in an all pervasive way, reminding you of the quality of your own radiant, awakened heart mind. When you forget them, Chogyam says, look at the sun and remember that you are also that. You are also that. Okay. I'm not going to continue. I will send this to you for review. I think what I'd like to do is talk about it then next week. And let's see what that means for you. It is not easy to summarize a book. And the truth is, we're not ending the book, really, are we? We're simply going to remind, so that we can then continue to live it, right? So that we can continue to live it. So this will go to everyone. I want to see here, Ricardo, if you're not getting my emails, will you let me know? Because I do have an email address for you, so you should. But if for some reason you haven't, I haven't sent them out other than the cloud recording. Yes, I like the summary, Robin, as well. I'm going to make it available to you, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more. So then I want to stop and just see. So then for this week, let's review for a moment some of the practices. Remember, we began with a certain kind of bowing. We bowed to the present moment and all that was in it. We had a very difficult time doing it. We couldn't remember. If we remembered, we did it at the end of the day. Al thought I was being silly. I was bowing at him. He was like, what are you doing? This is ridiculous. I thought it was kind of cute. He got used to it. And then at the end, he would say, I don't think you bowed today. Were you bowing? Because you didn't bow to me today. I think we might need a bow here. Today might be a good day for the bow, which we are still laughing about. And so then bowing is an acknowledgement of me like you, me like me. I'm not having to get rid of anything to be also a part of this sacred world, and also then remembering the sacredness, the interconnectedness, and the impermanence. These are the essential teachings of the Buddhist tradition of it all. So people reported experience. I forgot to do it was one of the experiences. I felt pretty uncomfortable because nobody knew what I was doing. This wasn't necessarily to a person. It might have been to a moment. It might have been to a tree. It might be to the vast open sky itself. And so since we are coming to the end, it might not be a bad idea to go back to the very beginning. And see how it might impact us now, this idea. We then decided, of course, that a bow might look like a smile. It might look like a touch. We practiced that. It might look like an open hand, right? That there would be no real way that would limit us to this opening into the truth of this present moment. And so you could practice any and all of those. That was really our first 4 weeks. We were just going, can I remember? Can I wake up? And can I respond? Was the key. Can I respond in some way? And the answer is, if you don't do something, take a word or a thought or an action and manifest it, the answer is no. Because all the good ideas in all the world do not count until they are lived, says me and Chogyam. All the good ideas about love in all the world do not count until they are lived. And so the thought, followed by the word and or the action, is the path. And so we'll go back to the beginning. Whether it is a bow, a smile, a touch, a word. You are, right, the mirror for the interconnectedness, interdependence, and impermanence of it all. You are the mirror for this. Nothing separate, nothing solid, nothing that is mine, and I will add that is not mine. I am a part of it all, the good news and the bad news, right? We cannot keep going if only they would get it together at all, right? It is the warrior's path is so fearless that we will take full responsibility. That's how fearless it is, that you can say, sure, I'll take this on. This is the Bodhisattva path. I'm going to take it on. I'm not waiting for you. I'm not waiting for the other, whoever I have otherized. I'm going to do it. And if I can do it, then I know you can do it too. And if I know you and I can do it, then I know the perceived they can do it as well. And this is the path. And we will walk that practice again, as we had for the first 4 and 5 weeks, just like this. So then I'm going to ask you before we go, what's going to get in your way? What's going to get in the way? Habit, Libby says. The habit for rushing off into the next thing, forgetting to bow to this one, however we do. What else is going to get in your way? Let me see. Let me get to chat here. What's going to get in your way? Yeah, Jean.
For me, it has to do with, you mentioned earlier, 2 words, happiness and love.
Yeah.
And when I get in a situation, sometimes I'll think, well, it will make me happy to shit on this person. I don't know how
I
else to.
know what you mean.
So it's ignorance, misunderstanding.
Yeah, it is an ignorance. And by the way, it has a neurological reality, which is that aggression has a pretty solid hit for the first couple minutes.
Yeah.
It goes to hell in a handbasket pretty quick. But by the way, whew, no better high than aggression for about 4 or 5 minutes.
And I have found the use of those 2 words, happiness and love, very confusing in my search.
Yes, we mistake them completely as a thing we're supposed to get. Let's just start there. Oh, folks, whoops, we made a bad left turn right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Bad left turn. When you go, I'm not getting happy, you're never going to get happy.
Or
You're
this
gonna,
will make me happy is my biggest spiritual experience of life was standing at a Subway, having ordered my sub and looking at the chocolate chip cookie and thinking that will make
gonna
me
do
happy.
it.
You know,
Mhm.
no, and then realizing, no, you are actually thinking the cookie will make you happy. So yeah.
Yeah, uh, we're very clear in the whole of the book that it is not any of what we will get. Not any. Not ever, except for the brief hit moment. Because there is no car good enough. There is no partner handsome enough. There is no job big enough. And we all think so, and we all get so confused. I got to get it to be happy. No, in fact, what do we know? I have to be it. And in the being, there is unabiding, unshakable now. Unshakable. And the happiness is not the happiness of the giddy, energetic happiness. It is what Chogyam calls a confidence, isn't it? I know that I am here to make a contribution, and I can make that contribution. I can. Uh, Anybody likes it or doesn't like it isn't even the, it's accepted or it's not accepted, doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. When people were asking me about my brother, because I've said to the family we're all going to be calling him every week, and everybody was like, "Okay, but like, is he going to answer? Doesn't matter. Is he going to call back? Doesn't matter. Is he going to get annoyed at us all calling him? Doesn't matter. Is it going to work? My mother, is this going to work? I don't know. Does love work? I don't think it does.
Well, that's the problem with the word love.
Right.
For me.
That's right. Isn't it? Does it work? Well, no. You may not get any of what you thought you should. And yes, it always works. It's all there is. And no, you don't necessarily get the award. You don't get the cherry on top. Nobody goes, "Yay for you. You're so amazing," at all. And do you get it? Yes, you do. There's nothing better than it. What is it? That sense of wholeness, connectedness, uh, presence in it. I don't know anything greater. I don't know anything greater than
And
that.
and keeping that freshness alive.
Yeah.
Keeping it alive.
Yes. And how do we do that? Well, one, the method. We practice. Because if you can't touch to remember it, not by thought, but by direct experience, you cannot live what you do not know. Says the neurology, forget the Buddha. You cannot live what you do not know, and the knowing isn't a thought. The knowing comes from something so much more embodied, embedded. You cannot do it. And so, because we're forgetting constantly, what? I better remember, remind, re-heart, so that I can then go about the business of living this. There is no day that I am better than a Tuesday or a Saturday when I have steeped my own being in the realities of this goodness. No doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And the further I get from the practice, the further I get from the truth. And the further I get from the truth, the closer I move moment by moment to ignorance. And then become really stupid. And suffering, says Libby. And I'm not saying stupid in a harsh way. I forget who I really am and what I really have to offer myself and others this moment. Okay, we're going to go over the rest. Once you get the summary, you will get the summary today. I'm looking, Steve, if you could just let me know in chat which Steve this is so I can make sure that you get it as well. All right, we get this idea. We're back to the beginning because it's always right here. Oh, nice to see you, Steve. Good to see you. Wonderful. Glad that you're here. Okay, we're going to do our Bodhisattva prayer now, and we're going to go about the business of recollecting again and again, every breath, every moment, the truth of the sacredness and the goodness of oneself in this also good and sacred world. If you've had any other thought, you are caught now in a moment of ignorance. Let's keep it clean. The sacred and good you in this sacred and good world, and our relationship and actions, thoughts, and speech in relation. If you're doing anything else, you are caught in a moment of ignorance and delusion. And then you wake up. And then you wake up. Okay. Here we go. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles. And for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. May we all be happy, truly happy. May we all be free from pain and suffering and its causes. May we rejoice, be grateful and glad for our good fortune, and offer the blessings of that good fortune to many and to all beings. May we rest and dwell in the great eastern sun and that warm, glowing moon, remembering who we really are. And may we act then in accord. And may this practice, this very day, contribute. And may it continue this day through you. So be it. Thank you all so much. Blessings to you all in this sacred world with this sacred you.
Thank you, Dad.
That you're so welcome. I will be teaching on Thursdays, the next 3. Greg will be gone. We will be doing this practice. Again, this is all. It'll be 30 minutes of this practice. That's going to be the practice. There'll be a little less languaging in the practice because you all have it here now, so you'll know. I'll just give a little minor cueing for that. And then Saturday, we will be here in the garden. And I haven't decided which topic yet of the topics we have been exploring to review, but I will usually send you a little article to summarize what I think we're going to talk about. So look for that. That usually comes out on the Thursday. I will have time this Thursday to get that to you, so I look forward to having time together in the garden. I think we're going to go down and see if we can't sit in the grass. We have a new Ting underground system that's supposed to be able to carry the I should be able to pick up internet down there, so we're going to see if we can. It's supposed to be a beautiful week, and so you make it so. Make it so. Thank you all so much. Good to see you all. You're so welcome. Good to see you, Siobhan and Robin. Good to see everyone. See you soon.
What time did Steve call yesterday?